Hi, I'm Debs.
Hi, I'm Ruth. And today, very excitingly, we're going to be speaking about the Art Hub community.
Ruth and I have always been quite social creatures, and we wanted to have a community online. Lots of people do courses, but this is different. We want to create a space that's outside of all those other social media spaces, don't we?
Yeah, it's going to be its own dedicated space specifically for artists to come in and just feel like a welcome little group of artists, really, and share inspiration and collaborate. And it just felt like it clicked, didn't it? Because we weren't too sure to start off with, because it's quite a big commitment going into a business partnership with somebody and doing an art membership. I think the first thing you need to do is make sure you're on the same page in terms of what you want your members to get out of the art membership and what kind of content that you want to put in it.
And I think this podcast helped that, hasn't it? Because
Yes.
I think when we started to talk and we realised that a lot of things we agree on, even from the point of view of the health and well-being side of art and the fact that we want art to be accessible to people who just want to do art for art's sake. It doesn't have to be that you want to be an art business or you want to be an artist.
Yeah.
It's about creativity being available to everybody. I think that's where we meet, isn't it, really?
Yeah, definitely. And I think when we started thinking about this membership, we didn't want to close it off to a certain sector of artists, such as professional artists or newbie artists. We want people with all different levels of experience to get something from this, because I think when you bring people together that are beginners or experts, I think there's a lot people can get from each other, a lot of kind of inspiration you can share with each other. You can go in there and ask daft questions, because it's not going to be a public thing. It will just be a membership group as well.
Yeah. And also we want it to be accessible. I think the problem with having our activities in our own studios, or your art in the park that you do, Ruth, is that's got a locality issue. And sometimes it's got an accessibility issue for people who have disabilities or want to do things in their own time. It could be that it's an accessibility issue because people are working. I've quite often had people who want to be involved, but this will be accessible at all times, really, won't it? That's the whole point.
Yeah.
To people wherever they are in the world, really.
Yeah.
So
you'll be able to go in, log on, have a look at things like technical tuition videos, but also just chat with other community members as well. Be a nice space for people to feel welcome. And I think that was the overall thing that we wanted from it, is for people to feel like they've got a welcome space to come to that's engaging and inspiring for people.
Okay, we initially thought, who is it for? And my friend asked me this the other day. What we'd like is the people who want to be in our community, we'd like you to have your own curiosity about art.
And for me, I think it's also about people finding their own authentic way to do things, find what really inspires them, get a clearer idea of, I suppose, what their voice is. So it could be any particular style that they prefer working in, or they could be quite new to art and they're not exactly sure where they want to start. But this will give them a lead in, a structure that's easy to engage with and people can get a lot from in terms of working out their own path. Because as artists, we're all so different as well, aren't we?
We are. But also artists are always inspired by other artists or other techniques. That moves you on. It moves you on in your own path, and by sharing. I've always felt that this idea of the lone artist finding it all out by themselves, it's hard work.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and it's not as much fun, to be honest.
It's not, and I love bouncing other ideas off people and seeing what other people are doing as well. in their sketchbooks and in their artwork. It's amazing what ideas you can come up with together and explore.
Okay, so Ruth and I wanted to discuss how it will feel to be within the hub.
Yeah.
And the reason is that it's almost like this has come together, not by itself, but it's a little bit like we're painting a painting and you've got that intuition going, you've got that flow, and it's felt almost too easy, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, in a really good way.
Yeah.
We sat round and we were thinking, what should we call it? And we had a glass of wine.
Yeah, and even that didn't take very long, did it? We thought we might be on that subject for like a couple of days to work out what we were going to call it. But Art Hub came to us quite quickly, didn't it?
It did. And then we looked it up and we were amazed that the only art hub that was coming up were physical spaces. Yeah. And we thought, well, that is what it is, except when we started to look up the domain, that had gone. But Art Hub Community came up and
that works really well.
It
just
really
sums up what we
works.
want to do, isn't it? Yeah.
It does.
And I think for me, especially the word like hub, it's warm, it's friendly, it's welcoming, which is the experience that we want to give people, isn't it? It's not going to be sort of pretentious, arty type chat. It's for everybody to join in and have a go and get going.
It is for everybody, but we also did want to provide that inspiration of other artists. When we sat round, I said to Ruth, I've got to come up and see you because we need a big sheet of paper.
And we had several, didn't we? We had lots of scribbling sessions.
Yeah,
but
we're artists. It was working on Zoom on its own doesn't always work.
No. So we definitely enjoyed our time together, and it was good to sit down, and we got so much done as well, didn't we? Just in those couple of days.
Absolutely, it was great. It was really good.
And decisions.
And ate well as well. Ruth looked
we did.
After me.
No, we had some good meals, and then Debs took me out as well, which is
So how do we think it's going to feel in there? In fact, we've already got testers in there, isn't it? So it's...
Well, I think, like we talked about, I think I definitely want people to have that warm, fuzzy, welcoming feeling, and I want to be able to build confidence in people at that stage that you're at in your art journey. It's almost like giving them also a bit of structure that I use in my creative practice in terms of how I research things and how I develop ideas, but doing it in a way that's digestible and understandable, and you've got the whole art community around you as well, supportive people in that space.
With their ideas.
Yeah.
So, in a way, we're bringing a community together in the way that we want a community. It's a little bit.
It's a bit like, selfish, really, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It is. That's why we're doing it. So that we've got people to ask ideas from as well. Because we really do want it to be about community and not about us. It's definitely...
Yeah, definitely.
That's definitely about the bringing people together.
Yeah, it's having that supportive community around you, isn't it? It's getting inspired by other people, collaborating with other people. But I suppose for me as well, it's about being able to try different techniques as well and being inspired by different things. So hopefully people will feel like there's a lot in there that they can get involved with and participate in, so they'll feel engaged.
But also participate, because in the same way as we said we needed to sit around a piece of paper, art isn't all about being online, and there's the practical element as well. So we've definitely got lots of that in there as well. But in a way where you're interpreting it in your own way. That's the curiosity side of things. Put your own
touch on it and finding your own kind of authentic way of doing things as well, and digging more into that.
Yeah, exactly. We think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we think it's going to be fun for us, not just for you. Yeah. And I think that as long as we can pull together in the community space and have fun, it'll be great.
Yeah. So we'll be structuring our Art Hub membership around a different monthly theme each month. And the idea is that will give us all a structure to work from for that month. But it will also give us a variety of different topics to cover over the course of, several months as well. So you'll get, I suppose, the best of both worlds. You'll get a structure where you know that you're working in for that month on a particular topic. But then we'll change the topic every month as well, so you get something different to look at.
Yeah, and with the structure, everything that we do will be saved, so you'll be able to look back, which means that as the topics build over time, you'll be able to go back to a particular
there'll be more content in there for people to look at as well, which will give them, if they've got the time, a lot of things to look at. The first month we've chosen to start with the theme of observation, because we both thought that was a kind of a core creative skill to start with.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, and also not only is it a core skill, it's something that transcends over whether you're a beginner or whether you're more advanced. In fact, when you're more advanced, you'll look back and reflect on what you observe. So it's a great way of starting. And the way we're getting you to interact with that is to do a monthly challenge. So at the beginning of the month, we'll have a challenge for the month. It's not going to be anything challenging. So, for example, with that first month, we're going to be doing the artist dates. So we've talked about this in previous podcasts, but do you want to have an example of what an artist date looks like?
Yeah, so it's artist date. The idea is it's basically you spending some time with yourself and taking that time to get inspired to look into a subject. It doesn't necessarily have to be something strictly arty, like going to an art gallery. It could be maybe you want to go to the zoo for a day and have a look at the animals and go out and maybe do some sketching or take photographs. So it could literally be anything, but the idea is that you're doing something that you find of interest to yourself.
So the challenges come at the beginning of the month because we want you to have your own interpretation on it. There is no wrong, there is no right. And then preferably it's a community. Come back and share what you've done and or how you felt or whatever. That's,
see what other people are getting up to as well.
Yeah, so we will have those community spaces where, you'll have a challenge space. There's not going to be lots of spaces. We will have a art cafe space. So if you just want a cup of coffee and want to talk to anybody that's online, there will be a chit chat space as well. Or it's going to do an artist inspiration. So I think week 2 we're going to be sort of doing that.
And it's about giving you some inspiration that's related to the monthly theme, in terms of it could either be a specific artist or an art movement or an art genre that relates to the topic. We're going to be talking about artists from history right up to contemporary artists as well. So it's just to give you another thing to think about in terms of hopefully something inspiring. The artist either used the medium or what style or what it said about that period of history in a way that's easily understandable as well, that's not intimidating and that's easy to digest and for people to get inspired by, really.
And also to provide another topic of conversation around which we can chat. There will also be a chat area related to that, so that'll be good. We're then going to do a live workshop. So each month there'll be a live workshop where we do a practical element. This isn't a live workshop where we're just demonstrating. This is a live workshop. When we give out the challenges at the beginning of the month, there will also be another post at the beginning of the month that tells you what you'll need for the live workshop, so that you've got time to get prepared. And, we're going to leave that as a surprise for now. So
but it'd be follow along kind of fun session, won't it? It's a live session where we can kind of get.
We're just not going to go into that first first live workshop. But we'll definitely give you indications of what you need. So you just come along, and these are all included within that membership thing that you have. So every month there'll be live workshops. We're planning to do the third Thursday of the month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other thing you're going to do, Debs, is the art in practice one, isn't it?
Yes. So art in practice, how, I would tackle a challenge. It could be that I do a couple of different things for how I tackle it from an abstract art point of view or from a realistic viewpoint. But there might be a little bit just a peek into my process so that you can see how, if it's very relevant, what I would do to take that forward.
We're going to be quite
related
practical demonstrations, aren't they? That will be
absolutely.
You can watch
that you can
back.
Actually take. You can watch back, and you can have a go yourself. They'll definitely be, and they're going to be. They're not going to be hugely long or anything. They'll be broken up.
Yeah.
So
I suppose again, it's about inspiring people, isn't it, and giving them something else to try, different ways to look at things.
And also techniques. There's a little bit of technique in there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Definite sort of, ways of doing things.
Yeah.
So that with different materials, so different people can try different things. Yeah.
I mean, I'm really looking forward to it because you mostly work in acrylics and I work in oils. So maybe you'll be able to get me using acrylics because I've never got on with them.
Yes. And acrylics are... It depends on how you work, but they are much faster drying than oils. So,
I'm definitely looking forward to trying out some of that stuff, definitely.
And we'll do a bit of mixed media. Which
I've dabbled in a little bit before, but not too much. So I feel that even I'm going to learn a lot from this as well.
Yeah, and I feel the same about, I think the artist inspiration, because I didn't go to art school, I think that having inspiration from artists and realising how they fit into the picture, the overall picture.
Yeah.
Because we've already got some exciting things going on with, for example, with the collage and that sort of thing, where I didn't realise who had inspired it and how new it was, for example. Yeah. We're in quite an exciting time, aren't we, from an art history viewpoint. The contemporary art. And of course, some weeks have got 5 weeks in the month. So on those weeks, we're going to do a little bit of mindset, something close to Ruth and Mike's heart.
So it'll be like a bonus week, won't it, where we'll do something around mindset, which I think we both know is a really important part of being an artist, isn't it? Having the creative mindset. And
so on these sorts of weeks, we'll cover things like I can't draw, talent, all those sorts of things, the things that stop you because you think that you can't. I think that first month, I can't draw is a really good one because a lot of drawing is a skill, and yet people really put a lot of emphasis on that for becoming an artist. It's definitely something you can learn. So that's sort of our structure. Every month there'll be that structure, which means you'll know exactly where you are, and you'll know because of what week of the month it is. So you can look out for those things. I think we'll be releasing things that are to do with posts on a Monday. We'll also be available within the Art Hub on set days, and we'll put our office hours up so that you know exactly what days we're available. There'll also be support for you so that if there's any technical issues, you'll be able to send to a support email. So that all is sorted. So we've got all that.
All thought out, hasn't it?
We've
also
really
hope that there'll be a lot of chat and support from just members within the community itself as well. So you shouldn't ever feel like you go in there and it's just crickets. Hope that it's an engaging space and everyone gets to know each other a bit more.
Yeah, and the space is set out really well. So you've got your chat spaces, but you've also got Spaces for Courses, if there's an event, it'll pop up and tell you there's an event. You can see where the events are, so everything will be there. So, for example, those live workshops would be classed as an event, and it'll just take you into Zoom. It's really easy. There's also, you can directly message people, or if you want to specifically ask a question, but you want it to come to Ruth or I, you can just put at and mention us, and we'll get it. Yeah, we'll definitely see it. So all of that is really good. We really like the space, don't we?
So I just love the fact that it's so easy to use and it's well laid out, and you can see where there's different activities going on as well. You'll obviously get things like notifications if people reply. So it feels quite a lot like the stuff that we're already used to in social media. But the beauty of it is that obviously it's in its own dedicated space, so you won't get the same noise that you get in social media, and you actually see the stuff that you're interested in as well.
Exactly. And I think that's what I was about to say. In social media, if I put a post in my Facebook group, 2 to 3% can see it, and that is ridiculous. That is just really bad, because you signed up to a group because you want to see it.
Exactly.
And we'll also have, I think it's a weekly recap of things that have been going on in the group that will come through to your email. So things like that. So you're kept in touch, really. You will be kept in touch with that community. And that's what we really liked. We really liked, you know, if you're in a community, let's be in a community.
You want to see the stuff that's going on. Yeah.
Accessibility. We've talked a bit about accessibility, haven't we?
Yeah, we have a fair bit, talking about different times and making the challenges accessible and that sort of thing.
Oh, there is an accessibility thing that you can have an app on your phone as well. You definitely have everything, events, courses, everything is there on the phone app. Yeah. In fact, it's probably better from a notifications point of view. If you want to be notified on a particular thread or those sorts of things, your phone app is really good.
Yeah, and let's face it, most of us aren't that far away from our phones anymore, are we? On a day-to-day basis as well.
No. And
in terms of accessibility, that was an important part of what we chose to launch the founder member price at, wasn't it, Debs? Because we gave that a lot of thought and consideration in terms of affordability for people.
Yes. Yeah, we did. And we also wanted to give a discount for our founders as well, because I think being a founder, you almost helped form what happens. So, you know, it's lovely to get feedback. It's always lovely to get feedback from everybody, but you know, you can be in there at the start, but we did want to give you that discount as well, because you're in there when there's slightly less content and that sort of thing. So it's as it's
building the community up.
The big advantage of being a founder is that you can help to shape it as well. And I think it's quite exciting being there at the beginning. I'm certainly excited at being there at the beginning.
Start from the beginning, yeah. And the good thing about it is that the founding member price, once you're in at that price, it's a lifetime price. So you'll continue on the membership at that discounted rate once you start.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we're offering a 20% discount initially. So you can come in at founder member price for £16 a month.
Yeah, which, considering how much I charge for a workshop, you know, you're getting a lot for that, and you're getting stuff that you can actually come back in and look again and go over. So you know, it's there for you. Yeah, and that's the advantage. And if you miss a live workshop event, you'll be able to catch up. There's, you know, everything will be there. You won't miss anything if you can't do it time-wise. Oh, I forgot to say, what we will do is we'll put a link below so that if you are interested, the membership's opening at the beginning of September, so you need to get in on our list so that you can find out.
You can get information about how to sign up once it's ready.
Yeah, we will put that link below so that you can sign up to the list.
Yeah.
signing up to the list, it does not mean that you've signed up to the membership. It just means you get the information and we keep you informed.
About how
That's
to
all
sign
it
up.
means.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to takeaways because this is a podcast, and we decided that we would use the opportunity so that you could get, it's almost like a peek into the podcast, but a talking peek, isn't it? We've been very busy setting it all up.
Yeah.
But it's also come together really well as well. There's just a lot to do. And we can't wait to have everybody in there.
Yeah,
and we'd really like you to join us. So
Yeah.
it's really exciting, That from a takeaway point of view, it's been interesting to try and describe the space in words for me.
Yeah.
It is, It's really, it's a bit trickier than seeing it for yourself.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think we've still got testers there. Get in touch, because if you're super keen to see what's going on. But definitely, there's no harm in signing up to the list. I think what we're going to do is we're going to have a live session nearer to the time where we will invite you in and show you around the space.
Get a flavour for what it looks like.
Yeah, because I think from a takeaway point of view for this session, it's been quite tricky to just describe it in words. It's a lovely space. We loved it when we found this particular software.
We knew it was the right thing, didn't we? We just knew it straight away. Just because it was so simple more than anything else and easy to use.
And just sort of made sense instantly. So that's what we would like you to see, really. And so if you can join us if you just sign up to the list, then we will actually take you through that just before and show you it.
Peek behind the scenes, see what it's like.
Definitely. Have you got any other takeaways?
I think the big thing for me that I realised is my motivation behind this is more about how I want people to feel in the membership. So I want them to feel inspired and more confident, and I've always wanted a way to help inspire people and move them on their art journey, no matter what phase they're in. So I think I'm really excited about seeing that and seeing what kind of things people put within the membership and how people are getting on and how I can help them. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And I think the other bonus that we didn't talk about, but it's something I've realised, is that there's two of us.
Yes.
That's helping us.
Double.
We're moving faster because of it.
Yeah.
But we're also, I think that we can see how the space is working between us. It's been really interesting, hasn't it?
It has. It definitely helps having a second pair of eyes on things, and even just being able to talk things through with you and work out what it was exactly that we wanted to do. I'm sure that process was much quicker than it would have been just with one person scribbling things down.
So you've got those different perspectives, and you've also got Ruth is like an oil artist, as an oil painter,
and different experience.
I'm mixed media and acrylic, and interestingly, we do have others that are joining the community who have other skills such as watercolour. So I do think that there's going to be a big mix for all sorts of artists.
Which is exciting, because it's
really
great
exciting
to hear about how other people use their particular medium. Always inspiring.
It is. And I think that rounds it up.
Yeah.
So it's been a good episode. It's been quite tricky It
has been sort of processing everything, because we've moved quite quickly as well in the last couple of weeks, and we're still almost catching up with ourselves as well in terms of where we're at with things. So I think our brain's taking a little bit of time to catch up, because things have moved quickly, but in a good way.
In a very good way. So I'm going to say bye for now.
See you soon.
Bye.